Welcome to another episode of Analytics Mindset. Today we will go through the Google Cloud Data Leader certification. Yes, my experience getting it, I got it not so long ago, as well as some details and tips that I may have for you as well. Let me go in here and we're gonna start looking into it. What is a Google Cloud certification? Google Cloud certification, similar to Microsoft certifications I have walked you through with you in the past, or even Tableau, is a certification specific to Google Cloud. Google has two main paths. Google has more certifications actually. You have the career certificates that are longer and more general, and the cloud certifications that are more specific to a certain aspect of Google Cloud. You can see here in the page of Google Cloud certifications, this is first who, why get Google Cloud certified, and then you have which certification is right for you. This is the most important part. You have three levels: foundational, associate, professional. You will notice that it's very similar to Microsoft when we went through the Microsoft certifications. Google has a lot less. Not that it's bad or good. Microsoft has everything Azure related to one place, and this is only for Google Cloud. But it is something to take into account. You can see here in the foundational side, you have the Google Cloud Data Leader, that is the one that I will speak about today, and the Generative AI Leader that I am actually enrolled into. I will do a video about that when the time comes. On the more advanced level, you have the Associate and Professional certifications. Those are more expensive, one, and two, also a lot more comprehensive. You can see how in the Associate certification you need to have experience deploying and managing these resources, and the professional one you need to have in-depth experience in both of them. While in the foundational side is more, we are certifying that you have this foundational knowledge and you know this and what to do with these resources. You have the credential wallet here that you can see your credentials and you can see your directory too. You get registered into the directory and you can search your name and you can show up to your employers if you're looking for a promotion or you're applying to a new job, etc. Now, before we go into the actual certification, I will show you the actual study guide is here as well. You have here what the Google Cloud Data Leader is supposed to be doing and who is a certification for. Again, as in a foundation certification, everybody can get it. You are eligible to get it if you have a computer. You have a couple of sections. Digital transformation Google Cloud is 17% of the exam. How the cloud transforms businesses. It says how Google Cloud, but more general the cloud. Then you have explain data transformation Google Cloud. What role data plays. How do you manage data in the cloud? Innovating Google Cloud Artificial Intelligence, that's a lot on the AI and ML focus. In my experience, when I took the exam, it goes closer into the AI realm. It doesn't go that much into machine learning. You may have some sprinkles here and there. Unstructured data is a big one of it, or how to train models. But yeah, there is a big focus on AI, as with everything lately. You have then the Google Cloud AI and ML solutions. You're gonna go into the different ML models like ML Auto ML, custom models, Cloud AI, and all of these, and Google BigQuery. How can you use BigQuery for AI, all those services, and when should we use each of them? On section 4, you have modernizing infrastructure and applications Google Cloud. That was the longest part on the learning path. That's a lot on why modernization and migration to the cloud are important steps into an organization's transformational journey. How do you compute on the cloud? Kubernetes. Virtual machines is a very important part of this. You need to understand at least what a virtual machine is and how to use in the cloud, compute engine, and how do you modernize legacy applications. serverless computers, containers into the cloud, the value of APIs, application programming interfaces, and when to use a private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, and multi-cloud. Then you have the trust security Google Cloud. That's where you're gonna go into the lot of security models, where who owns what, the triad of compliance, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, and the Google Trusted Infrastructure, and when Google will access your data and when. The last section is scaling Google Cloud operations. How can you scale? How can you stay compliant? What tools Google gives you to stay compliant? And what resources and how you can display how can you manage the permissions and display them to certain users? It is a 90 minutes exam. Going into the actual exam now, you will see that the Cloud Digital Leader can articulate capabilities of Google Cloud products as we saw in the learning path in the actual certification guide. And as always, all of this will be in the description of the video too. You can always use it there and you can always see it there. Very similar to Microsoft certifications, Google offers you exactly the same price point. It's gonna be a 90-minute exam for $99. The difference is Google offers you to take it for the renewal side, actually. You also need to pay $60. That is something different. And it's also 45 minutes. It is a standard one. It's valid under 3 years, actually. You have 3 years to renew, to have your to certification, and then you will need to renew. That is fair. The cloud changes a lot. As you can imagine, there is a ton of change all over the place, and you want to keep the exam updated and your certification. You will also notice that you must take the standard exam if this your first time getting certified. That's going to be a bunch of people. You will have 50 to 60 multiple choice questions depending on the exam. And you also will have these languages available. You can take an online proctorate or on-site proctorate, same as the exam. And finally, you should have some experience in Google Cloud, at least working with people in Google Cloud. Now, to prepare for the exam, what I recommend, as with all these certifications, go over only the learning path required. Do not go through the paid content. You can, but for these kind of certifications, it's just not worth it unless a company is paying you to go or something like that. I strongly discourage you from spending any more money. You can pass the exam by yourself. You can pass it through the learning path that I will go into bit. But if you're interested in that and you have money to spare, or you just want to spend money, you have the different things. You have cloud customer case studies, eco solutions. So there's additional resources too for you to be able to get more familiar as well. These are free resources. We prepare with sample questions. You can see, you can take as many as you want. I did that before I took the exam. It helped me quite a bit to get a good feeling on how the questions will feel. You can see you can take your exam remotely or at a test center, either or. You will get a skill badge that I will show you in a second. If I come here and then I go into my own profile and then go into the last post about in the Google certificate, and yes, I did get a couple of model certifications. I will do videos about the future. It's been interesting, but here is the leader certification. You have the badge here. You can see it here. It's a very nice badge, as everything is Google. They needed to do something nice. You can see here Google Cloud Data Leader. It was issued to me on May 17th, around 2 weeks ago. Shows you skills, shows your earning criteria, evidence, series ID, who is certified, me, the certification ID, and all the other stuff here. But yeah, that is pretty much it on that point. Now, with all of this, we're gonna go into the actual learning path. The learning path is around 8 to 9 hours to go through. I would say it took me around that time. Um, to be fair, I do have experience with cloud computing. I would say extensive experience at this point. I've been working with cloud in very different ways through the years. You should be confident on the basic concepts. The As with a lot of Microsoft certifications I explained in the past, there is two main components of this certification. You have the general cloud computing concepts that it's really the same across the board. And you also have the specific work cloud concepts. That is going to be more difficult if you don't understand what the actual cloud technology does. Google allows you to get $300, I believe, in credits that you can use to get more familiar with. If you have never touched BigQuery, if you have never touched Cloud Engine, if you have never touched Cloud Computer, I strongly recommend you to get familiar with them one way or another. Maybe you're more on the side of, I want to get my hands dirty and see what's out there. You can do that. That's why the credits are for. Maybe you're more on, I am fine just reading, or I have worked with people that have worked with this before, or I can do it myself on my work. That's good. You can also do it that way. But I strongly recommend you to have a good idea of what you're getting in before you get it. You should have a good idea on cloud computing. If you don't understand something, go back, especially before you go into the actual service that does that thing. That's going to make your life easier. You can see that each of them is a section on the course, the 1 to 6. The biggest by far will be the trust and security with Google Cloud. That's 1 hour and 15. And you also have the exploring data transformation with Google Cloud. No experience migrating from on-prem to cloud is really required. This is just 2 hours because it's the introduction to it, and it will go into it a lot, but I don't consider it very difficult. But my point here is be careful on when you get lost. Whenever you get lost, you should go back at it, try to look again into the material, or maybe you just realize that you need more time. That's totally fair. My estimation is if you're familiar with cloud computing, being honest, you could probably do it in 6 hours, 5 hours. A lot of the videos are very introductory level. If I go, I'm just going to go. The one that I enjoyed the most was the modernized infrastructure and applications Google Cloud. Just to give you also, they update this very often. So, if like me, you enjoy one of them the most, you can always just upgrade to a new version and see what's new, even if you're already certified. That is just for your personal curiosity. And you can see here, a lot of these videos, 90% of these videos, you can go into the modernizing IT infrastructure, is going to go into introduction, infrastructure modernization, how to understand compute options in the cloud, all of these things, and then you have a quiz. But my experience compared to the Microsoft certifications is Google is a lot heavier on the video slash audio components. When with Microsoft, you may get a video too, but 95% to 90% of all the content is going to be articles. In this is the other way around, it's flip actually. 90 to 95% of all is going to be a video format, and then you're going to have the last 5 to 10 just being quizzes and your random article here and there. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't really have an opinion. That you can argue either or. I really am somebody that reads faster than when I watch a video, but that's just me. That's why I usually see the videos in second, doing something else. And that helped me a lot, actually, just managing my time while doing these certifications because I could do stuff while I was doing it. But up to you. There is transcripts if you prefer that way. If you prefer to just go deep concentration and go over it, there is transcripts. I didn't need them. For me, it was just enough to go over the videos, then answer the quizzes, and then, yeah, just complete it, get the master certification, get out of it. But with that, who is the certification that I recommend for? If you are your first step into tech, for sure, this is a good way to get started. If you don't have technical education, for example, that's just a nice add-on. Even if you're not looking at a job right now, the way I see it is it can have bigger effects in the future than today. It is just something on top of everything else you have to offer. If you're looking for a job, something. If you're looking for a promotion, that's also another way to set you side apart. Hey, I am a cloud digital leader by Google Cloud. May not sound like a lot, but when there is two candidates, you and candidate B, and there you guys have exactly the same education, the same job experience. At least that little bit that makes you better may give you higher chances to get an interview. Or just pass it whenever the interview panel is like, well, let's decide between the two of them. We don't know. We'll go with the one that has one extra certification. I really hope I was kidding, but I've been in situations like, again, just know it is a foundational certification. Don't get me wrong; it's not going to get you a data engineer job, a data analyst, a senior data scientist job. No, but it is good to set yourself apart from the crowd because it's not that of a popular certification. And it depends on the ecosystem too. At the foundational level, it's good to poke around. I mean, like me, I'm just collecting certifications, like they are some kind of collective game at the end at this level because I also have experience with it. And it just helped me separate myself from my peers. Everything else being equal, master's degree, same education, more or less same job experience. For me, it's just a nice boost on have something in my back pocket. That's it. That puts me aside from others at my own level and career progression. But again, if you're just starting in tech, analytics, etc., might be a good way to differentiate yourself. And you may just be able to get something out of it and learn from it. Get more familiar with it. If you want to get more into Google Cloud, you can always take those certifications. You can learn more into the other levels, the associate level and the professional level. I highly recommend the two of them if you get a lot more interested on Toledo. But yeah, that is everything I have for today. I hope this video was useful. As always, feel free to give me thumbs up, comment, feedback. I would appreciate it. Thank you.